Hello and welcome back to Torment Tides of Numenera. So, a couple notes here that I've got written down here before I start through our playthrough here. So our new word, chirurgical, with a hard C, means of, relating to, or pertaining to surgery. So that's interesting. That's A, a new word to me, which is unusual all by itself, and B, what the hell was I doing, I wonder? I'm sincerely hoping it's something like a clinic and not shopping at corpses, but that doesn't actually make sense. That would be autopsy, and then I'd be fighting up the den or her for possession of dead things. Realized I'm also muttering too much under my breath, so I'll try to stop that.
Ground's a wee bit fragile.
Yes, shush. I know that because there are lightning monsters digging underneath it. Eratus, I had to back up and take a look at my video. I'm going to do my best to pronounce his name correctly, although I prefer the one that rhymes with irritation. And he's actually kind of interesting all by himself. So we've had, 2 paragraphs with him. And I already have kind of this encapsulating idea of what he's going to be like. And I can't decide yet if he's going to be my new best buddy, or if I'm going to try to feed him in whatever lives in that pool in the underbelly, and the Dendrohur can learn to swim. So again, excellent writing. I'm very pleased about this. So...
Is there more danger? So be it.
Oh, man. Just going to have to kill you. Okay... So him, I just wanted to see his gear real quick. So he's got a greatsword. Good. Greatswords, of course, were primarily crushing weapons. He's got a doublet. His doublet remains spotless, no matter how he leaps, spins, or rolls around. Fair enough. And an undershirt. He's knotted his belt across it in a way he would undoubtedly describe as dashing. And you know, it's actually not bad having kind of this brash, loud guy out in front of you, who rushes in where angels fear to tread, because, he's going to be sort of the focus of anyone new we meet, and that's going to allow us to hang back just a little and kind of get a feel for the lay of the land and what's going on around us. So, that's going to be interesting. This hatch is bothering me just a little bit. So, what else was I thinking? I don't know. I guess it'll come back to me. Oh, I'm really sad about Coral, or a poor fishing lady. I wonder if every time I spend the night someone else is going to die, if we're running on a time crunch here. So I wonder, what branches were cut off because I wanted to refill my stat pool and I was being cheap about it. So that's terrible, and I'm going to do my very best not to sleep again until I've got this sorted out. Not happy. It's too bad that the Dendrohur's thingy doesn't work on just a loose hand, because that'd be kind of neat. Alright, well, anyway, let's continue on our way. So, we've got someone over here yelling, Lord Vunkin. Heard something rustling? Yeah, well, you get that. Let's talk to her since she's right here. Good afternoon. Please don't die. Mother Tamaz, this woman glares at the air above her head, her fingers fretting with a single bead and a long, peculiar chain of them. Her low, angry muttering resolves into words as you get closer. Foolish boy, shivering at the crossroads, mazed by your choices. Go on and pick beauty. Pick strength. Pick pleasure, whatever that be. The particulars don't matter, boy. What matters is the choosing and that you do it. Who are you speaking to? She blinks at the empty air, and her hand steals to a metallic, many-faceted bead near the end of its chain. Not you, she says, snorting, but it may as well be. Mother Tamaz knows you, lad. Born falling you were. Born in flame, shreds of your smoldering call streaming through the air. When you struck ground, your bead first went cold, then hotter than a mother's hatred. Mother's hatred? Kind of a weird home life you had. She shakes her head and spits at her feet. Scarcely born you are, and learning quick, but you're still uncertain. All boys and girls are, till they start making choices and dealing with the consequences, until they accept the costs of being adults. My call. That's interesting. Just the fact that she knew about whatever that membrane was. You fell from the blue womb of the sky, and your speed set the call around you alight, scattering flaming bits across the city. I snatched one for myself. Still have it, in fact. She sighs. You're confused, but that'll change. You'll have your feet under you soon enough. Not all of my children are as lucky. This one, she says, showing you the bead she was speaking to before you arrived. It's carved in the shape of a malformed ring. Pico wants to escape his past. He's saved a handful of shins by honest means. That is to say, it's taken him a long time. And he's too busy pissing over the options to spend it. Her fingers fold over the bead. pushing him into choosing a path, lad. Do that, and I'll return your call to you. Improved through my art, and stronger than when you lost it. Interesting. So her beads seem to be representing people. That's an interesting bit of tech. Where would I find him? He's... Mother Tamaz trails off, closing her hand around her beads, staring into space. In Cliff's Edge. Okay, we're in Cliff's Edge, lady. Hot, cold, left, right. Anyway. So I'd like to talk about something else. Go on then, she says, sighing. You mentioned you had my call. That's not what it is. I'm not a fool, boy, she says dryly. But you were born above my city, so I know you, like or not. She reaches into the bag strapped to her hip. Something glitters within. This is your call, torn from you at birth. Name it what you will, but I know what it be. Can I have a look at that? When you finish the task I act of you. Not before. Alright. So, I have some questions about you. Waste of time, she grumbles. I'd rather you lend your mind to the favor I asked of you, but ask and be done. Sorry. So, why do you care about this kid, Pico? Oh, that's not much of an answer. Man. Go on, she says, twisting the many-faceted bead between her thumb and forefinger. Go on asking your foolish questions, but I know what's in your heart. You can't not care, same as me. It's what lines your spine and holds you upright. So what's that chain of beads that you're holding? I make one for every child I deliver, made with wood and their mother's blood, carved in the shape of their soul. Touching their beads tells me if they're well, more often, if they're not, and need a mother's help. She tilts an eyebrow at you. Sometimes I just witness a birth, but I still carve a bead to mark the occasion, if I think the child is worth remembering. So why do people call you Mother? That's kind of weird. I've delivered every child of a mortal womb in Cliff's Edge, she says. A smile slips unbidden onto her face. And some who are not. Yeah, I've noticed there's an interesting conglomeration of sentience around here. Do you have any actual children of your own? Nay. None, and never have, in fact. But as the saying goes, all children in Cliff's Edge have two mothers. It's better than having one of my own. Did you start that saying? I'll bet you do. So do you like living here in Cliff's Edge? Still here, aren't I? She says, wrapping the chain of beads around her fingers. I like having my children all around me. So I want to ask you about someone in particular? Aye. A note of weary caution enters Mother Tamaz's voice, and she drops the chain to coil, snake-like, in the palm of her hand. I'd like to ask you Metkina. She listens as you describe the woman you're seeking, and begins to shake her head. Then she recoils. You're speaking of the White Death, she growls, gripping the end of the chain of beads in her hands, and pulling them taut until all of them shiver on her string. Mark the fated ones well, the ones as cold as a long night's snow. More than a few were down to her, and her careful, careless knife. Interesting. I don't remember who Rin is. Is that the guy that we saved from being executed? No. It's the slave girl. Or one of the two possible slaves. I can't remember if she's the explicit slave or the one that's clearly in some kind of bizarre, abusive relationship. You describe the girl you're seeking, and she runs the chain of beads through her loosely coiled fist. Didn't deliver her, she declares. Don't know her. She doesn't come from Cliff's Edge, and may not be from Sagas either. I know that. Okay, Rin. Which one was she? Yes, Rin. Okay. So he thinks that Rin is hiding in Cliff's Edge. She's scrawny with dark curly hair, said that she suffered a head wound and tends to babble a lot about her gods. And a bit babble about how
You want a job done right.
she's being held in thrall to this creepy guy. Okay, you... This is cool. What's going on here with you? Super neat. Let's come talk to you. Medelia Glittering. A forlorn woman stands by the edge of the cliff, only a few broken stones marking the remnants of a home that must have recently collapsed into the ocean. 3 tiny rodents, each in its own strong glass ball, waver around her head in an indecipherable pattern. On her left shoulder sits a cat with synth-steel legs, who bats lazily at the orbs whenever one ventures close enough. Okay, that's not a pattern, it's a circle. Also, I like the fact that you're replacing your animal's limbs with bionics. I've played enough RimWorld to know that you know what's going on. After a few moments, she recognizes you, as if coming back into herself. Oh, hello. She rummages in a pocket of her dress and produces a bundled cloth that she unrolls at her feet. A few trinkets gleam dully against the material. Have you seen an escaped slave girl nearby? Escaped? She looks up at you, then through you. Tears roll unheeded down her cheeks. I don't know. I can't remember. You can't remember? Are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do to help you? Her eyes burn with unsettling zeal. If you come across something called a Stitcha, kill it. They took my home from me. She bares her teeth in a motion that isn't a smile. Kill every last one of them, and then maybe I'll be able to sleep again without screaming myself awake. That's kind of a strong reaction to your house falling into the water. Have you seen an albino woman around here? Doing stuff? I don't know, I don't... She chokes on her words and buries her face in her hands, shaking silently as she cries. Weird. So maybe she had some connection to what's going on in her house. So how much for one of those rodent globes? One of the... She unconsciously raises a hand to where the rodents in their tiny spheres revolve around her head. One by one, they touch her hand and the globes disappear, leaving 3 tiny rodents sitting in her palm. The cat on her shoulder yawns and settles in for a nap. Bay, boo, bow. Hello again, she whispers, touching each of them with a gentle fingertip. They squeak appreciation at her attention, rubbing her cheeks against her finger as she looks up to you. They're not... Her voice breaks. She tries again but can't maintain eye contact. They're not for sale. She raises her hand and, through a mechanism you don't spot, each rodent re-enters its strong glass ball and resumes its wavering orbit. So she has 3 miniature giant space hamsters. Interesting. Well, let's see what you have for sale. Okay, health, speed, int. Wow, lots of health. Okay, good. Might. Ooh, psychic detonation. Deals 10 mental damage and confers dazed to all in range of the target. These delicate glass spheres radiate a nauseating mental static from somewhere within their utterly clear depths. That's interesting. Leucotic bladder heals 13 points of health. Slick to the touch and smelling of bile, this malleable organ can be smashed open to release a gout of healing viscera. Not usually into viscera, I'm not gonna lie. An artifact, Sylph Cord. So this has stealth, -2 on esoteric attacks. Interesting. Lengths of gossamer thread wind around this spindle, covered in finely carved pictograms of transparent figures covered in and blinded by crisscrossing lines. That's weird. And maybe something I buy for our thief friend at some point. We'll have to see about that. Scholark's Archive. So this gives us machinery and natural skill, +2 damage on esoteric attacks. Ooh. -1 in persuasion, -3 in initiative. I don't know if I want that. We'll have to see. This bony, segmented chain unravels at the touch of living flesh and latches eagerly onto a user's spine. Once attached, the user will sense the presence of another mind within their head that is wise, knowledgeable, and contagiously rude. I hate it when things attach onto my spine. Okay, and we also, I have not forgotten, these wacky rings, where we'll have shared fettles and 25% of our stats healed. The problem is I'm using an ornament, so I don't know. Oh, neat. The continual rise and fall of the pistons on this device suggest a massive mechanical effort. Structural similarities within the pipes in the area hint at them being part of the same machine. Interesting. Oh yeah, here's all the houses that have fallen. A month's layer of dust cakes this sign, which reads, Scour the Wise, Scholar of the Iron Wind. Huh. This facade is all that remains of a house. The rest is collapsed into the sea, hundreds of meters below. That is sad. I'm not gonna lie. Kids? Judging by the tiles, shingles, and bricks that are piled here, these are the remains of collapsed buildings, carefully pushed out of sight. Come back and talk to you kids, I don't care about you right now. Money, good.
I'm ready.
Oh, it's another Stitcha. Really? The creature that laid these eggs must be truly formidable. Yeah, it's the size of my torso. This is interesting. Partially hidden in the trash of the dump is a frightened Stitchus, although it doesn't look like the other Stitch you've seen. Its chitin is weak and soft, and its claws are small and malformed. It stares at you from its hiding place and chitters incomprehensibly. Ugh! I need tidal affinity. Who are you? The creature makes vague motions with its claws and emits a series of clicks and wet guttural noises. Oddly, you smell dust and lightning. Some of the sounds are reminiscent of a human with digestive troubles, but you're fairly certain it's some form of language. How did you get here? It weaves its head and clicks its claws, then pauses as if waiting for a response. The odor of ozone and stale air surrounds you. When you make no reply in its language, it shakes its head vigorously and says nothing more. So we're not going to get anything out of you, friend, but let's remember you're back here. I'm going to forget, so it's up to you guys to remember that he's back here. So once we find Tidal Surge and pick up their language... Oh. Kids. A scrawny boy in rags reaches out to you as you pass. Sir, please sir, I know you saw the Stitches hiding in the midden. Please don't tell anyone about him, sir. He's not doing anyone any harm. Lord Vuntkin has been stirring up the neighbors, telling them to look for a rogue Stitchus and promising them a reward if he's found. The boy gestures towards the rest, where you can distantly hear a booming voice and the answering shouts of an angry crowd. They think that Stitchus is dangerous, but he's not. You saw his hands. He can't dig like the others. It's not him that's bringing down the houses. What does he mean to you? We found him, sir, my sisters and I, and he was so pitiful, near to starving, near to dying. We've been feeding him old devices and power cells ever since, but we've got to get him out of there. The neighbors will find him soon, and that'll be the end of him. You feed him power cells? Stitcha eat electrical energy, and we can't find nearly enough. He's starving. This could be good. If I help this guy out, maybe that'll put me in good at the Stitches. Maybe they'll try a little harder. Or maybe, once I can communicate with them, maybe they'll actually take me to the hidden stronghold that I'm looking for. So, do you kids have a plan to help him escape? No, sir. We can't just walk him down the street, or that fat little lord would see him. Not to mention the neighbors. And they'd kill him for sure. This is sort of for my own purposes, but I won't tell anyone. Your secret is safe with me. Thank you, sir. You're a lifesaver. Now, if only we could get him to safety. Well, I might be able to find a way to get him out of here. Could you, sir? That would be wonderful. If you can find the other Stitcha, maybe they'd help him escape. I heard that some of them are down in the underbelly, but I've never seen them myself. Alright, I'll give it a try. Thank you, he smiles. I had a feeling I could trust you. Well, it's been nice meeting you. Okay. I don't want to talk to that loud jackass over here quite yet. Let's take a look around.
I know. Something to do.
The mural above this door depicts 5 people, their positioning suggesting trust and camaraderie. That's 5 people, huh? Alright. Trunk woman. Threads, shreds, tendons bending. Well, you're super creepy.
Yes. Now.
Insulting truths you're free of charge. The purpose of this protrusion eludes you, but the fact that there is one of them lined up with each outlet pipe emerging from the cliff wall can't be a coincidence. Strange fluids rush from these pipes, hinting at vast machinery and pipage within the cliff walls themselves. That's interesting. What do you have to say? Your breath is bad, just awful, like your tongue died in your mouth. Well,
Yes.
okay. Ouch. I'm not gonna lie, even expecting that hurt just a little.
Let's go.
Ooh. I love these things. Beggar. Sometimes. Okay, I'm looking at you. And.
All right.
Let's go take a look at this. Floating triangles. These 3 triangles float serenely above a scuffed stone basin. You can't help but noticing that the citizens of Sagus are giving this monument a wide berth. The largest triangle shines brightly, radiating a soothing warmth. The middle, darker one hovers above it, turns slightly away from the first with what strikes you as disdain. The third is small, dryly amused, and so deeply indigo as to be nearly black. It's removed from the first two triangles. You hesitate. You are sensing emotions from these objects. Intent. Something is strange here. Well, after the force field, I'm not going to touch it first. So far, touching things has done me no good. It's gotten me shocked. It's gotten me burned. So, let's crouch to take a look at this stone basin. The stone is cracked in places, but far newer than the ancient shapes that float above. You suspect that the citizens of Sagus added the basin to make the triangles look less out of place. Interesting. Wonder if these are higher dimensional shadows. So let's examine the smallest triangle. The tiny object spins slightly faster than the others. The more you stare at it, the more you sense a growing presence in the air, the icy disregard of distant eyes. You blink, swaying. In the half-second before you open your eyes, you hear the thunderous crack of wood on wood and the rumble of distant voices. You snatch your hand from the triangle. I said look at, not touch! Alright, well apparently we're touching everything. Let's go ahead and touch the large triangle, why not? You reach out and time slows. Your hand drifts past individual motes of light dappled dust, moving into the warm glow of the large triangle. Calm warmth bleeds up your arm when you grasp the edge of the triangle. It's somehow rigid and flexible at the same time. The air thickens like a weight over you, and you struggle to keep your eyes open. Between the thumping of your heartbeat, you can hear thousands of purposeful, rhythmic footsteps treading endless stairs towards the peak of a vast, echoing room. That's weird. So, what did the middle one think? With disdain? Alright, well, let's go 3 for 3. Let's study the medium-sized triangle. Staring at this triangle is disorienting. The longer you stare at it, the more you feel a tight coiling sensation in your own head. Standing on your toes and stretching, you manage to brush the triangle's icy face with your finger. You blink and a strip of light unwinds ahead of you like a path through infinite murmuring dark. Behind you is an ever-shifting zeotrope of linked, motionless yous. It is your past, you realize, every second of it, every choice pouring out of you and trailing away into the black. You open your eyes. You're back at the stone ring, still touching the triangle. All 3 of them are watching you. You blink again. The strip of light, the surrounding darkness. And in the valley between the slow pulsing of your heart, you hear the murmurs of countless witnesses, the raised voices of your past and future companions, the heated condemnations of enemies you haven't met yet, and above it all, a trio of voices, one warm, one cold, one dryly practical. They are speaking a verdict, but you can't hear them over the din. They are speaking a verdict. Do I want to hear them or do I want to keep walking? Let's ignore them and keep walking. You stride on. Some of the innumerable witnesses cheer, others angrily denounce you. It doesn't matter. Their voices fade into the darkness behind you, leaving you alone. The path unravels before your every step. Your past unspools behind you. Stay on the path and see where it leads. You follow the road. Casually, you look to the right, and the path at your feet flickers, as if anticipating your new direction. Clearly, your choices define this road's course and not the other way around. You open your eyes. The 3 triangles hang in the air exactly as they did before, unmoving and silent. The vision is gone, and yet you can still feel the choices you've made curving away behind you like a string of jewels. You straighten, moving into the future breath by breath. It's no fate but what we make. You suddenly notice a message carved into the stone ring beneath the triangles. Judge yourself. As you watch, it slowly fades away. Interesting. Very interesting. We'll come back and talk to you.
Of course.
Loss of self? Tormented levy? How can you be tormented? You're designed for a single purpose. This levy is not like the others you've seen. The wide smile is absent, and his oddly shaped eyes are red, and haunted. He stares past you, whispering to himself, and turning a small charred object over and over in his hands. Greetings, he says, apparently by reflex. He still hasn't looked your way. How can I help you? He closes his eyes hard, as if trying to crush visions that are troubling him. What's wrong with you, friend? I'm wrong, the levy agrees, his lip trembling. Rotten. Made of the wrong pieces and tied together with blackened wire. He covers his face with his wrists. Please go. That's weird. What are you holding there? He says, then grimaces, as though the words hurt him. I'm holding my shame. His hands unfold one bloody, soot-covered finger at a time. A crudely made wooden bird lies there, painted in pinks and pale blues, and charred around the edges. That bird represents your shame? Represents? No. This is my shame, and I'm holding it. I can't put it down. That's weird. Are you... Okay. So talk to someone else. Can you give me directions of any kind? I can't help you. I'm wrong. I'm lost. What do you mean you're lost? Yes. No. I know where I am. He squeezes his eyes shut. I know everywhere I've been. Alright. Well, best of luck to you. I'll come back if I think of anything that might help you. This dilapidated structure has been converted into a cheap boarding house. Inside, people sprawl on filthy mattresses in a dimly lit room. Ooh.
On my way.
Bridge. What are you? Loss of Self. That's an interesting name. This young woman clutches herself and growls, low and continuously, under her breath. Pearly white light shimmers from a vial on her wrist, and her eyes are red-rimmed, as if she's been crying. You've never seen her before, and yet, your hands are sweating, and your breath catches in your inherited chest. Shame burns her throat, hot and sour. Your body recognizes her, even if you do not. Leave me alone, she mutters, and it's a moment before you realize she's not talking to you. You took my face, stole my family, whispered me in my own voice. Isn't that enough? Isn't that... She breaks off when she sees you. She's in my head, and she won't shut up. Talk loud. Talk over her so I can hear you. You hear a woman in your head? Yes, she says, biting the word like an enemy's throat. Now stop talking about her. It brings her forward and she clings. She whines and she won't stop, so please stop talking about her. What is that object you're holding? She flinches, but reveals the vial strapped to her wrist. It glows with an inner light, and the tiny ripples within seem to cast moving shadows on her palm. I woke up one night in a building I'd never seen before, she says, soft and low. I found this beneath a pile of blackened scales. If you shake it, it makes a picture. Watch. She jiggles the vial and holds up her other hand. Indistinct shadows mimic the motion on her palm. That's interesting. So why are you holding on to it? Because I feel like it was mine, she blurts, then grimaces, as if the words escaped her without permission. At any rate, it's mine now, and I don't need more of a reason than that. Okay. That's interesting. So, have you seen this poor slave girl? The little girl? I've seen her crawling into the ruined house over there. I've been worried about her, but... She gives you a wry grin. I've had my own problems recently. Okay, I'm not going to push you. Okay, I'm not an idiot, right? That wasn't one of the girls over here, was it? Nim, Avina, okay. Interesting.
I'm going.
Very interesting. Hope I can get across that bridge. Free money.
Go.
What's this? This house was reduced to rubble when part of the cliff face collapsed. There's evidence that squatters have slept here recently. A ragged blanket, rotted fruit peelings, and footsteps in the dust itself. Something scratches deep within the rubble. It sounds like someone or something is in there. Hello? The rubble makes no response. Let's dig a little deeper? You crawl partway inside, pushing aside boards and a thin slab of slate. A small girl gasps, throwing up a hand to block the sudden light. She's young, no more than 10 or 11 years old. She has made herself as small as possible to fit inside the tiny gap in the rubble. Her hair is dark and curly. She pulls herself deeper into the rubble, away from you. Who are you? She puts a finger to her lips, then tries to shoo you away. You hear a voice behind you. I was told you patience would pay off, lads. Oh, it's you assholes. Some thugs stroll over. They all carry weapons in your side. Okay, so these aren't the slavers. Maybe they are. They all carry weapons at their sides, though they walk with the cocky assurance of those who don't expect to need them. I swear I checked this hovel, says one of them. She wasn't here. No one was. How did this draft find her so easily? He gestures dismissively in your direction. I'll have you know, by the way, that I am traveling with one of the most heroic heroes that ever walked this land. Don't fret it, Vega. The thug looks you up and down, then calls out in the direction of the rubble. Come on, little bird. Doesn't matter how good you are at hiding. You had to come out sometime. The girl huddles behind you, keeping you between her and the thugs. Even so, it's obvious she's not sure about you either.
Don't let them take me, please!
Why were you looking for her? A little urchin ran away from her home. Her mother asked us to find her and bring her back safely. Is that true? No. She grabs her wrist. They're bad men. They want to steal me. Kidnappers? Now that's just crude. The man crosses his arms. We're delivery men, that's all. The means and motivations of our employers aren't none of your business. I loathe mercenaries, just to be real clear here. He sighs. Dropping his facade, he turns to you with a look that pleads for understanding. But, alright, yeah, there is a slaver who put up a fine bounty if you bring her back. It's all legal and none of your business. Best you stay out of it. He says the words kindly enough, but his colleagues' hands are on their weapons. You can't take me, says Rin. Her grasp on your wrist tightens. He found me. He has the discoverer's right. The thug raises an eyebrow, a bemused smirk playing on his face. Is that so? Well, Spiderjack, what do you say? Is she coming with us, or are we taking her from you? So, was the bounty put up by Tollmaker? She asked me to find the girl. Just try and take her. Slaver is evil. Her master's grown tired of waiting for you. I've been sent to collect the girl in her stead and tell you the bounty's off. So, let's see if we can lie our way out of this for once, because we do have Tybra with us, who can hopefully get a good roll. Come on, Tybra, don't let me down. Yes, her master has grown tired of waiting for you. I've been sent to collect this girl in your stead and to tell you the bounty's off. That's right, we'll roll 100. Not screwing around here. What? That double-crossing, backstabbing lack nippler? She promised. He waves an angry hand in the air. Fine, see if we work for her ever again. Good, so they're going to strut off and not come back and bother me. They won't discover that I sort of made that up on the spot. Excellent. I'm not real attached to kids, but I loathe mercenaries and I despise slavers.
Thank you. They were going to take me back to that woman. I've never met anyone so cruel. When she found me the first time she even... My apologies. I'm still out of sorts. You have my thanks and grace, sir.
Of course. For a moment, it looks like she might hug you. But at the last moment, she seems to think better of it and pulls up short a half a dozen steps away. She collects herself, standing straight with her shoulders back. Then she nods, the gesture so polite it's almost formal.
My name is Rin. My home and hearth and bread are yours to use. Except I don't have any of those things.
She blushes, looking around self-consciously. How long have you been hiding in that building? She blinks a little, as if confused or surprised at your question. Then she looks around, shifting nervously from foot to foot. This is my place. This is where I sleep. So what are you doing all alone here? The girl looks up at you, her forehead creasing in irritation. My name is Rin. Sorry. But then she hesitates and looks down, blinking. She reaches into her pocket absent-mindedly. Did I forget to tell him that? She stands there motionless for a second, then stops and looks up at you again. No, I think I did. She looks up at you. I'm sorry, she says. My name is Rin. My food and fire are yours to use before you go. Without seeming to realize what she's doing, the girl brushes her hand through her hair and you see the side of her head has been shaved. Large stitches run across her scalp, holding together an ugly cut longer than her hand. The wound is purple and angry looking, only just beginning to heal. It can't be more than a week old. What happened to your head? Her body grows tense for a moment, her eyes darting around as if deciding whether or not to run away. She glances at the rubble where she had hidden from the thugs. She relaxes, though her eyes are still wary. I was running away. There were some people. Bad people. I ran away and got hurt. Yeah, but it's been shaved. Was that hopefully before or after you got your wound? That scar looks pretty bad. Are you okay? She makes a dismissive gesture towards her temple. It's fine. It looks a lot worse than it is, and a lot better than yours anyway. Ouch! She smirks, touching the side of her head. The haircut is pretty awful though, isn't it? I don't think they really needed to shave quite this much, do they? I don't know. I think it looks dashing. Fashionable even. You might start a new trend. She gives a wide grin. I'll be the envy of every homeless waif in this entire... She gestures grandly at the landscape and then hesitates. Barrow? Her grin fades as the words come out of her mouth. I'm sorry, I meant barrow. She pauses and then says, That's not the right word, I mean barrow. Her grin is entirely gone now, and her hands make fists as she looks down at the ground, concentrating. Her lips move, and at first you don't hear anything except for the hint of a whisper. Finally, her body relaxes. Yes, neighborhood. That's the word I was looking for. Neighborhood. She looks up and gives you a shaky smile. I'll offer apologies. It's been a long day. That's weird. That's really weird. Someone been poking around in your head? What people were you running away from? She opens her mouth and then closes it again. She nods and puts her hand back in her pocket absent-mindedly. I don't really remember. I think they were stealers. No, what's the word? Robbers? They wanted to rob me. Who stitched your head back together after you got hurt? For just a moment, her eyes flash with panic again, and they dart around like she's getting ready to run. Then she touches the side of her head gingerly. I don't remember what happened exactly, but I got away, and I ran, and I ended up here. Your story doesn't fit, but I don't know if I'm going to call you on that. Because clearly you have had a bad day. I'm going to continue being nice. Is there anything I can do to help? She shrugs nonchalantly. I don't know. I'm pretty good here. Unless you happen to have any spare food you aren't using, or water, or a blanket, or a new bed, or a house, or, anything at all. Rin starts out talking with a playful smile on her face, but then her eyes well up. Her voice stays cheerful even as the tears are running down her cheeks. She wipes them away, embarrassed and angry, but her hands are shaking now and there are more tears, and words continue to pour out of her. I offer apologies. It's just that I've been hungry for days. I don't know where I am. My head hurts and nothing makes sense. She laughs helplessly, with a tinge of trembling panic finally bleeding into her tone. God's around me, I'm all broken in my head. The moon is wrong, and I'm so tired of being scared all the time. Seems pretty insistent about having her come with us. Here, want some money? She blinks at the money in her hand, then looks to you and gives a small, awkward curtsy. Thanks and grace, sir, truly. So, I'm going to call you on this. Rin, your story doesn't fit. Who fixed your wound and shaved your head? And if you could hardly sit up, how did you keep running? She scowls at you fiercely. I didn't know I was talking to a judge, she says angrily. I told you I can't remember. Not for days on either side of whatever happened. I'm sorry, I was just trying to help. It just seems like you've had a rough couple days. She gives a wavering smile. Oh, it's not all bad. Found some shimmery berries today, so that means I get to play. I wonder if this will poison me later. That's always exciting. Alright, well, let's talk about something else. Sure. Okay. So I'm going to say farewell, because I bet we can come back and talk to her at any point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and I'm not going to record again for a couple hours. So, leave a comment if I should try to take her with us or not. Thanks for watching. See you next time.